Yeah, I was a correction officer. What's up, everybody? How you doing today? I hope that your day's going fine. If not, I hope tomorrow gets better. Today, we're going to talk about adjusting to the prison and how it affects your family. So, when I started in corrections, I was single. I was dating my wife, but we weren't living together. She was still in South Florida. I was in North Florida. You could check out our podcast if you want to hear that story. But I was single. I had my daughter. She didn't live with me, so I was pretty much flexible. I can come and go as I please, and it was just me basically. Um, so when I started at the prison, they'll put you on a shift. Like you that may not be your permanent shift. So when I started, it was the 8 to 4 shift. That's what they put me at. And they just put me there, I guess, to fill in spots because normally you don't get that shift. You start either on night shift or evening shift. And I didn't mind working night shift. I wish I kind of got night shift, but I got the evening shift. So I'll get to that. But when I first started, I was on 8 to 4. So I worked that shift for a few months, and then we started the academy. Once we started the academy, I think it was like 8 to 4 as well, but you get the weekends off. You don't get the holidays off, you get weekends off. And once you finish with the academy, you go back to the institution, and then they give you like whatever shift you're going to be on for real, and whatever days off. Now some people was lucky because they started on night shift or they started on evening shift, and they stayed where they was. When they came back from the academy, they went right back there. But since I went to the morning shift, I didn't know this, but I know now. I knew they was gonna like kind of move me around. So once we got back from the academy, I went on 4 to 12, and I forget what days I had off. It was either Wednesday and Thursday or Thursday. I want to say Wednesday and Thursday, or Tuesday and Wednesday. It was some weird days. I want to say Thursday and Friday. I don't think it was that one though. I don't remember. But anyway, those were the days I had off. And I had to get used to it. And I'm not even gonna say that it was bad. It was still new to me. So I was like, all my jobs before this, I had weekends and holidays off. Now I got this. And that was one of the things that kept me from wanting to work in a prison because I didn't want to lose my holidays. That was just the way of thinking I had. But anyway, I worked with it. I started to begin to, take a liking to working the 4 to 12 shift. I just didn't like the fact that I had to go to work in the middle of the day because, like, the days just starting to pop off, and I was still I was still not mature in the mind yet. I wasn't all the way there, but I kind of forced myself to do it at working at this job. So I got it together. I got on the shift and I worked it. And later on, about a year or so, I got married. And I was still on this shift. I took some time off, of course, for my marriage. And I took some time off. Once I got married, I came back. I'm still on the same shift. Now things are a little bit different because now my wife is here. So it's like mornings, she have to go to work. Afternoons, I have to go to work. And when I get home, she sleep. And that can either break your relationship or make your relationship. My wife did not like me our first couple years of marriage. And I just found this out a little while ago. Like, she said she didn't like me because all I did was sleep. But that's how that shift was. And honestly, I worked that shift for a couple years, and then we had my daughter and my wife's daughter, and then we had a baby together. So now you can look at this whole picture. I have a young family. Like, my kids were younger at this time, and like, I don't really get to see them. I don't really get to spend time with them, unless it's the weekend. So it's like the weekends we have to wake up early in the morning. And my wife probably still had to grocery shop. She probably still had to do all of this other stuff. And then we got to try to squeeze this time in on the weekends. So the weekends we would get up early in the morning and go out, try to hang out, do whatever we have to do, and then by 2 o'clock I have to be home because I got to get ready to go to work, and that was life, and it affected us. I don't think it was good. It was probably a lot bad, and like my days off were in the middle of the week, so I mean, what I'm gonna do with that? You know, then at times it was like, well, my wife had to travel a lot of places by herself because I was at work. I was there, but I wasn't there. I was pretty much kind of absent for a long time. And it was just so much that I missed working on that shift. So I just it was a bad time, but I was doing what I had to do for my family, so it ain't like I was just out running the streets, but my absence still made a difference at the house, you know. And I mean, you dedicate a lot of time there, and then if you get stuck working another shift, that's a whole nother episode. I don't see my family the next day. You know, when I get home, they're asleep. It's 12 o'clock at night. Then, if I don't wake up early in the morning, I don't see them before they go to school. So I'm waking up early in the morning just to see them off to school and off to work. You know, and it was things that I tried to do. Like on some days, I would go up to my wife's job and eat lunch with her, stuff like that. You got to try to do stuff like that because if not, I don't know. But like I said, my wife said she ain't like me. You know, she loved me, but she didn't like me. But I was doing what I had to do. You know. So eventually, I was able to get a shift change. Now, let me say this: working where I worked at, everything based off seniority. So if you put in to get a certain shift, like if I was putting in to get day shift, I was like on the bottom of the list, and it was people who was working there for years who had still not got up to that top of that list. And only way you get there is somebody leave or retire. But the people who was already there, those people was there for the long haul. They weren't retiring. People wasn't getting fired like that. They wasn't just quitting. They wasn't leaving. They was stuck in those places and they weren't leaving. You know, I mean, you probably could have got that position if you was around kissing butt, but that ain't me. I don't do that. Nah, I just don't do that. So let me get back to the story. I got a shift change, and that shift change provided a little bit of leeway because I actually left that prison and I moved to a closer prison that was closer to my house. Man, I'm talking about a 7-minute drive from my house to that prison was 7 minutes exactly. And it was the night shift. So it was like, I don't have to go to work to 12 o'clock at night. I get off at 8 in the morning. So now I got a little bit of leeway because I could see my family a little bit. Now, it was like this. If I had off Fridays and Saturdays, I wouldn't go to Thursday night. I wouldn't go to work on Thursday night or Friday night. Right? That makes sense? Because you have to think about it. It's kind of confusing. But I had pretty decent days off, and it really still didn't matter because I still had the whole day. I could come home and get me some sleep, and we could still have the whole day. So that did provide a little bit of leeway for me because I had the whole day. I even picked up a second job because at that time, man, we were struggling. I ain't gonna lie. Like, we had some hard times in our life, and those were one of the times we were struggling. And I picked up an extra job just to bring in some extra change, and you know, it served this purpose. And things were working out at that institution. I mean, I wasn't far away from home. Good hours, better hours, I would say, decent hours. But the only bad thing was I was working over a little bit more often because this institution was small. So I was kind of working over a little bit more often, or I was trying to get some extra shifts, and sometimes you couldn't, but it is what it is. But that was another change that I took my family through. It was like, it's a lot of changes that you go through, and that was another one. And here comes the bad part about this place. I was there a good 3 months, and they closed it down. They closed it down. Yes, they did. So now it's either you go to this place or you go to this place. I didn't want to go to work at a women's prison. I ain't want to do that. heard so much stuff about it. I like, nah, I think I'm good, but I ain't gonna put myself in those situations. But as fate had it, I would end up there anyway. But I didn't know that, so I put in my paperwork to go back where I came from. And when I went back to where I came from, I went to a night shift. And here's another change. When I got back there and got settled, they put us on 12-hour shifts. So no more 12 to 8, no more 4 to 12, no more 8 to 4. Everything is 12 hours. It's 6 o'clock to 6 o'clock. And let me tell you, I'm in college at this time. So I'm going to college. So it's 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. This is another change my family got to go through. And it was some relief to this because you would work, one work week, you'll only work two days. So you'll work Monday, Tuesday, you'll be off Wednesday and Thursday, and you'll work Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right? So then you'll be off Monday, Tuesday, you'll work Wednesday and Thursday, then you'll be off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So that provided some leeway. That provided some time that I could be with my family because now I ain't got to worry about the weekends. I can say if we want to go somewhere, we'll do it this weekend, the weekend that I only have to work those 2 days. And if I wanted to request those days off, if I got them off, boom, I got a whole, 5 or 7 days off. 5. So it's like a mini vacation. So that was good. That provided my family with some much needed time to bond and to be together. And that's where most of my time goes, to my family. Like, I don't really hang out like that. So I was happy about it. Believe my wife was happy. My kids was happy. But that was good. So I was over there back where I came from. And it wasn't a good 2 or 3 months that a hurricane came. Now, I live in Florida, okay? I live in Florida, and we have hurricanes here all the time. So because of where I lived at, they had me to report to the institution, the female institution where I did not want to go. And this place is brand new, but I did not want to go there. I didn't want to work with females, But just so happened to be, they sent me there, and it was so easy. I was like, wait a minute. This can't be right. This can't be right. But it was so easy. So guess what? I transferred. I put in my transfer paper, and I got over there. When I got over there, they were still on 12-hour shifts, but they were not 6 to 6. They were 7 to 7. Minor adjustment, but still had night shift, and I could still flex with it, and it's a lot easier. And it's actually, that worked out for me. That's all I'm going to say. But once I got there, I said we worked there for a couple of years. Then guess what they did? They took away the 12-hour shifts, put us back on 8-hour shifts. Now, I was still in college at this time. This whole time I was in college, but I did not want to go to morning shifts because where I was with my school, I had to go to the campus. So I had to get back on night shifts. This is another change my family got to go through. Another one. So I get on night shift, and I'm balancing all of this stuff. And I'm handling it. It's no problem. Like, I can handle it. But I get through, and we don't shift again. We're on these 8-hour shifts, and it's crazy because I got horrible days off, and it just wasn't good. But it was another change that my family had to go through. And I'm going to say this. If you planning on working in corrections, you better have some guts about yourself. You got to have some stay strong. Your family got to be intact because it's so easy to fall apart. And you're going to go through so many frustrating changes. I'm just glad I don't have to do it no more. Like I said, I won't talk bad about working at the prison because it provided for me. It provided for my family. And it made me learn some things. But I'm just fortunate that I could talk about this and let you guys know before, put your boots on and give you some information and let you think about some stuff before you step in there, because it's a big job and it's very underappreciated. But you're gonna go through some stuff, and I hope that you guys followed me. I hope that you understood what I was saying. If not, drop me some comments in the comment section. Let me know. Hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. Until the next time, peace.